rapture is not going to take place before the Antichrist comes, Sorry for the bad news. I used to think like that. I used to preach that for 20-something years of my life until the Lord appeared to me one day in the year 2006 and He said, all your theology is wrong. And for 1.5 hours, He explained to me from the book of Revelation the timelines. And then He said, the church will go through the fire. It must go to the final fire. Your final test of obedience is whether you're going to take the mark of the beast or the mark of the Lord your God. That is your final test of obedience. That is the final fire that will refine, purify, make the bride pure and undefiled. You must go through that fire to become purer than gold. So if you will not fortify your spirit now, during the good times, what will you do during the bad times? Learn this strategy from Joseph. During the good times, they store up wealth for 7 whole years, so that when the bad times come, they will not suffer. They are well fed and strong. If during these good times, if you will not build up your inner man to be bold and strong, when the evil one comes and tempts you, what will you do? I once posed this question to my staffs during a weekly fasting prayer. So everybody said, oh yes, we will stand up for the Lord. There was one of my staff, a receptionist, who just gave birth to a new beautiful baby girl. So I looked at her and I said, my dear daughter, what will you do? She said, no uncle. Yes, I will remain strong for the Lord. No matter what happens, I will not take the mark. I said, well done. What if your baby is crying for milk and you have no money to buy milk? How long can you stand the cries of your baby? She became very still and quiet. She began to stare at me, just like how you all are staring at me right now. I said, tell me, you're a mother. How long can you contain the screaming cries of your baby? How long? Baby or little children, how long? They have no food to eat. An adult can control their hunger. What about little ones? How long can they control? So she told me, no uncle, I will let my child scream herself to death. I said, okay, very good. What if there comes these soldiers and they grab and then demonstrated it, Of course, there was no baby to demonstrate. I said, they grab your baby by the neck and they start to squeeze. What will you do now? Her tears began to roll down her eyes. She had no answers. What will you do? If you don't teach your children to be martyrs, what will you do? The Lord gave me an assignment. He said, prepare an army of martyrs for me. So we started an outreach. Since we have a television network, so I created a television program for children, because that's the age group the Lord told me. And I'm teaching them about martyrdom. Not the dangers of martyrdom, but the glories of martyrdom. This is something that people don't know, no? They think it's painful to get killed or hurt. No, it's so glorious. Glorious. Before you even feel a tinge of pain, your spirit leaves the body. This is something most people don't know. And it's only the flesh that's getting hit. You know, your spirit is already out of the body. It's already out. There's only the first tinge of pain, that's all. It leaves the body. That is the blessed gift that God has given to the martyrs. The first blood need to spill. The first drop, that's all. The spirit comes out and is joyously joined together with the company of glorified martyred saints. If you will not teach your children today to be martyrs, a hero for a martyr, when that time comes, when you can't buy or sell anything except without the mark, the cryings and the woes and the pleadings of your children can force you to compromise and take the mark. But let me warn you, don't you ever dupe yourself into thinking God understands. No, He does not. You know, my favorite heroes in the Bible are the 3 Hebrew boys. In Daniel chapter 3. What I like about them is not the fact that God saved them, you know. What I like about them is the statement they said. Our God is able to save us, even if He does not. That's what I like, you know. Even if He does not. Our faith does not rest in the fact that God will prevent us from getting hurt, that God will keep us from all danger. Our hope and our trust and our faith is not in preventive. Even if God forsakes us, we will not bow down to this idol. Even if God forsakes us, even if we suffer pain, even if we suffer humiliation, even if we suffer lack, we will not bow down. God is still a good God. Even when all things fail, God is still a good God. You need to train your spirit to come to that level. If 3 17-year-old youths can say that, what about great saints like you all? You can do better than that, isn't it? You can certainly do better than that. Please, train your children, teach your children to be martyrs for the glory of God. If you read Revelation chapter 6, when the 5th seal is opened, the Apostle John sees many souls, martyred souls in heaven, and they all were crying up to God, Lord, how long? How long will you be patient? They were crying. And the Lord comforted them and he said, be patient until the number of your brethren are also completed. So it seems that God has a certain number, a certain required number, that this requirement must be met. Why is it like that? I don't know. That is God's government. But one thing I know for sure. When a drop of blood comes forth from the body of a martyr, each drop will redeem one soul for the kingdom of God. So you have 5 liters of blood in your body. Can you imagine how many drops of blood there are in 5 liters? And how many thousands of souls that will bring into the kingdom of God? So how glorious it is to die as a martyr. The number of the martyrs needs to be fulfilled.